All right. Well, good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, depending on where it is on this crazy spinning planet that you might be. I am Darrin Peppard coming to you from the worldwide headquarters of Road to Awesome LLC. Super, super excited today because we are getting ready to kick off the launch of Debbie Tannenbaum's book, Transform, Techy Notes to Make Learning Sticky. So without any further ado, let me bring Debbie in here. And Debbie, let's have some conversation. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Just coming off of a vacation, and that first day when you get back from a vacation, you should be all nice and rested, but in reality, you're exhausted from your vacation. So,
well, you're always
but no, doing great. Yeah. There's not a whole lot of sitting back and waiting.
Hey, Eileen.
Yeah. So today, what we want to be able to accomplish, Debbie and I have been talking about this for a little bit. The book itself actually went live earlier this week on Debbie's birthday. Happy birthday belated, and happy book birthday belated. But we've lined up 3 really awesome guests to come in and have some conversations. Some people who share the experience that Debbie's going through right now, which is becoming a published author. And, as somebody who's also done this, I know you and I have talked about this, Debbie, and the reality is it seems like right now this is the culmination of this, but this year just getting started right now. And it's super exciting. So before we bring in our guests, maybe just tell the folks that are watching just a real quick, here's what Transform is all about.
Okay. Well, before I do that, I just want to make sure everybody can see what a beautiful job Darrin did with my book. It looks gorgeous. So I'm modeling it right now. So hi, Liv. Hi, Jeff. So I'm just thrilled that Transform is out in the world. Transform is my story. It talks about how I went through a process of transformation from being in the classroom behind closed doors, hey, Anne, all the way to becoming the connected educator that I am now. And it really, as we're doing it, it just shares how you, like I have, can really use technology to give yourselves opportunities and your students opportunities that you might not have imagined. It talks about transform tech tools that help you to really make learning and amplify it with your students. It talks about empowering student agency and nurturing student agency, how you can build your PLN. And as I'm watching names pop up, I am so fortunate. I have the best PLN on earth, I think. How you can, offer your voice, reach beyond your expectations, and really maximize learning. I am so proud of the book. It's been definitely a dream come true, but a lot of hard work at the same time. And it makes me so happy. I see one of my teachers from my school's on with us live right now, which is just even more awesome. But as I look, I see people that I know who I've connected with through being a connected educator. And it's made me as an educator grow so much. And I'm just so fortunate to have all of you as part of that journey.
I think you really do a great job in the book, and as we go through the course of the book. Obviously, from the publisher and editor side, we've spent a ton of time in the book and know the stories inside and out, and but I think you do a really good job of talking about the PLN and what's important about a PLN. And so with that piece in mind, let's bring in three amazing members of both of our PLNs. Lindsay Titus, Jillian Du Bois, and Vernon Wright. Welcome to the show, all three of you. It's so great to see you guys.
Hey, everyone.
Wow. Is this the cool crew?
Absolutely, Darrin.
Yeah, this is where the cool kids hang out, Vernon, and we're glad because you bring cool everywhere you go, man. So
there's just
only
so
because
much
you taught me
inspiration on the screen right now. It's almost overwhelming.
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing that we had talked about for today's show, each of you have had an opportunity to preview the book, and each of you wrote some praise on there. Maybe just share just one or two thoughts about the book and what really kind of resonated with you as you were going through those praise pieces. And Lindsay, if it's okay, I'm going to start with you.
Absolutely. So I had the opportunity to preview this book, and right from the beginning, I knew it was going to be a book that I was going to not want to put down because of the way that Debbie has the ability to use her story and tie in real life examples. So I am a big believer in that we consume information to then create meaning, and this whole book does that. So you are consuming Debbie's story, you are consuming examples of how to use technology in really simple yet so effective ways to increase student choice, agency in the classroom, autonomy, you name it. But every single, activity that I was reading about, I was like, I could do that. I could do that in this way. And I'm a behavior specialist. So I don't work, front and center in a classroom with one group of students. I work across 10 buildings. And I was like, I could do that with my kindergartners. I could do that with my seniors. And so for me, it was just this wealth of knowledge that I knew I could take and immediately go with because of the way that it's mapped out throughout the whole book.
Yeah.
Awesome. Jillian, what about you?
Well, Debbie, I think you kind of hit the high point when you talked about your professional learning network, and actually it's a family. So, and I remember that first conversation that you and I had even before you had signed with Darrin, and it's like, wow, and you had so many questions and we bounced things off of each other, and it was just so lovely to be able to I think we're all seeking to grow and listen from one another and to learn from each other and from those that we trust. So just between us having that trust together and you sharing that story with me and understanding your heart, that just, I think, just puts it all in perspective, because not only is it just a book, a published book, yes, that's awesome, but those are a dime a dozen. But it's a published book by somebody who's had the experience, who's shared the heart work, who, is trying to make things versatile for any learner, any subject, any age. And I think, you've given us so many ideas that maybe for technology that we didn't previously even expose ourselves to. So now we have all of these great strategies and skills to now put into place with our own students and new paths to explore as educators and leaders. So it's transforming my whole learning experience as well. So thanks. Yeah, that's it.
You guys are going to make me emotional.
It's okay. Get emotional.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just, yeah.
You know, it's again, it's part of the journey too. You know, I mean, you've got to be able to enjoy this, and you know, certainly you get to read those praise pieces as they come in, but it's always great to hear what other people's thoughts are and those types of things. And we'll maybe talk in a few minutes about publishing experiences. But you know, Vernon, I got to tell you, when I read your praise piece for Debbie's book, I was like, wow, I'm gonna need like a whole page just for Vernon here, because this is just, you know, there was just so much meat to it, and it was a great praise piece. So I'll give you a chance here, just talk a little bit too about what your thoughts were, your takeaways from the book.
Yeah, you know, one of the things that really stuck out to me, and as all of you have really said so far, is that, you know, there are a lot of different pieces that are out there. There are a lot of different books, you know, different published works that we have all been a part of, right? Blogging, articles, books, what have you. But, you know, one of the things that I look for in the different spaces and the different things that I'm so grateful and honored to be a part of is not only the information, but really also to obviously the transformation. And transformation comes from the connection with people. And one of the things that I will share with you all is something that all of us as veterans in education have talked a lot about, right? Which is, quote unquote, meet the kids where they are. But what I think this book does is it not only does that, but it goes beyond that, right? And it meets educators where they are, right? And because sometimes we think about the students and not the educators that serve the students. And so I particularly really enjoyed where Debbie was towards the beginning of the book, really sharing her story about how not only she was going through professional challenges, but personal challenges. And I think that sometimes, you know, people just see Debbie, the superstar, Debbie, the author, right? The phenomenal author, right? But when she was vulnerable and shared that, it really put, again, her story on top of the tech tips, so that we get the information, but we also get the person that's behind the information.
Wow. Yeah. It's so awesome to hear people sharing what my goals were and it going through. Sorry, Darrin, I didn't mean
it was really interesting. No, you're fine. No, fine. Like I said, you know, pretty informal today, but I'll tell you one of the things for me that was a big takeaway, in addition to everything that you guys are all sharing, was you know, just from the behind the scenes work and being able to watch the book evolve. You know, when we very first began to where, you know, what it is right now, you know, Debbie, the copy that's in your hands, you know, I think about, you know, chapters 2, 3, and 4, where Debbie talks so much about all the different tools that exist that are out there for you, you know, whether it's Flipgrid or, you know, it's Google Slides, or it's, I mean, just there's a countless number of them in there. And, you know, Debbie hits us with, I guess it's not countless because she says, here's my top 10 tech tools. And, you know, but you know, the work to get it to where it just is so well laid out. And the work that you did, Debbie, with, you know, not only is Pear Deck awesome, here's what it really works well with. Here's, you know, the best ways to apply that. Here are some things I've done that have been successful with it. And so, you know, very much like what Lindsay and Jillian and Vernon have said, it's an opportunity now for the reader to enjoy your journey, but then also on the other side say, like Lindsay did, hey, I can take this and I can use it this way, and I can plug it right into my classroom and help my students to be successful. So very much, I'll stick with the theme and say the transformation of the actual manuscript as we went through the process was honestly, it was an honor. It was a lot of fun to do.
Well, all I can tell you, Darrin, is when we met less than 5 months ago, yeah. I first contacted Darrin on Christmas Eve of 2020. And I don't remember exactly what date we met in December, but when I met you, I was about halfway finished. And after talking to you and seeing your excitement, I knew that you were the person who I could trust to make this dream come true, because your excitement was contagious. You believed in it. And it's just been such an honor to be part of the Road to Awesome family. I've met so many amazing, incredible people through this experience. And, Jess was amazing as the editor. I want to make sure I give her accolades as well. But I definitely want to know what resonates with teachers. In the book, at the end of each chapter, you're going to see, if I can find it, you're going to see that there's a sticky note. Let me bring that up. And it's going to ask you to share how you've transformed. I don't know how easy that is to see. It's not really easy to see. But please make sure you tag Transform. You tag me if you're reading the book. My goal is not just to write this book and for it to be static. My goal is to have this book be a framework that helps you start your transformation. And I want to be part of that transformation. Everyone on the screen has helped me to grow in immeasurable ways. And I appreciate it more than any of you could ever imagine.
So enjoy Debbie, being on this journey with you. Stop talking, Darrin.
No, yeah, go ahead, Joey. You're fine. You're fine. I talk too much anyway. I'll just have a sip of my club soda here and be quiet.
No, I was just going to say, it's just amazing to be on a journey with you. And it's not just, we do feel a part of it, even though, we didn't write it. But as an educator, myself, it's like there are so many opportunities and so many tech tools and resources out there, and we don't have the time to narrow them down. Yeah. We don't have the time to streamline, the top 10. It's just, we get, bombarded with all these different things, and we just don't get the opportunity to test them out. So for you to put those, super incredibly important ones, or, I don't know, the versatile ones together for us to look at and to investigate, and knowing that you've used them before and how that's transformed your whole process. I think that's what, a lot of teachers are going to be looking at. So
well, that means a lot. Darrin, what were you going to say?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't even know at this point. It probably doesn't matter. I don't know. No, but I will say this. It's not what I was going to say before, because I truly don't remember that. But very similar to the other folks that are on the screen with you. You're bringing a value each and every day. When I open my social media feeds and I'm catching a leadership pro tip from Vernon, I mean, that's value right there. And, when each and every day I have this amazing inspirational message from Lindsay every single day, boom, there's super value to me. And now, Jillian with sharing quotes and inspirational messages as well. You're now bringing, this incredible opportunity for educators to say, I can pull this right out of Debbie's blog. I can pull this right out of Debbie's book and say, hey, you know what? I can go and use this. This is a value to me. And I think that's the thing that when we talk about our PLN, that has brought so many of us together, is every one of us is bringing value to each other every day and helping ourselves to just be better, to transform. So, I don't really know where I'm going with that. I'm still running a little bit on fumes from my travel day yesterday, but definitely I want to shout out all four of you, because each and every one of you bring value to me every single day. So I just want you guys to know I appreciate you. And
I feel the same way about the four besides me. And I also want to just say hi to Jen. I have two teachers from my school on. Jen Burden is one of my amazing 6th grade teachers. So really.
Well, I just want to say that, Darrin, you're quite humble, my friend, my brother, for someone that has accomplished so much and is in the midst of doing so much more, even more. You are the opposite of pretentious, right? And, one of my mentors has said this for years, and I'll share it with you all here, the larger audience. Those that are here, of course, on the screen have heard me say this before, share this before, but your network is your net worth. And, when you're around quality people elevate you. And each one of you here on the screen has elevated me, and really to just take what you said, Darrin, and really extend that and go beyond and extrapolate that. Did I just say extrapolate? I think I did. Right. And
Well
really
done.
say this. Right. Well, thank you, sir. You did a good job in teaching me. Right. Is that we're here on this earth to make an impact. And that's one of the great things about writing a book, is that's a way in which we make an impact. But, you know, I think that we have that opportunity to really go ahead and ask ourselves every day, you know, what impact am I making? And that's one of the things that just really resonated with me on what you shared, Darrin, even on fumes from vacation.
Yeah.
I think too, something that, and I know, you know, a little bit more of kind of what went into the book kind of process for Debbie. And I think something that's so worth mentioning and so important is that, you know, Debbie, you can fill some in, but when you started, your book started as your blog, right? Which started as just a way to express your thoughts and what was going on. And so I think it's another beautiful example that the end product sometimes isn't what we're even thinking when we start, you know, anything, right? And so, you know, I think it's just another, it's one of those that as I've learned more of your story and getting to know you and connecting with you and working with you, it's like, man, like who knew that's what it was going to turn into, that this is what it was going to turn into. But yet, if you hadn't started then, right, we wouldn't be here now. And we talk a lot about that, like connecting the dots backwards. Absolutely. And seeing all of those steps that you took, and, you know, celebrating each of those steps, because now you have this amazing product that shows that, but your why has been the center the whole way.
Absolutely.
That impact. And so something, you know, just as someone that has gotten to know you over the last year, that's something that I think is so powerful, that you don't always have to know the how or the what or all the details. But when you have that, I have this message, I have this thing to share, like, go for it, do it, just start, right?
Yeah. And honestly, the message at first was just sharing things I was doing with my students. It's kind of evolved and grown as time went on. And so I kind of think about it a lot when Darrin and I were working on the cover. This was not the original cover that we started with. We tried lots of different things, and I knew when I saw it, I would know what it was. And we sat there on Zoom together, figuring it out. And when we added the graphic in the middle, we were like, we're almost there. And then we added the icons, and, you know, it's that whole process. You might not know where you're going to end up. And honestly, 2 years ago, if anybody had asked me if I was going to write a book, I would have said they were crazy. I probably would have even said that when I was working on it in 2020, but like now I'm holding it and it's exactly what I wanted. And every piece of it is intentionally takes you there. Even something from as simple as, you know, them including some of these icons I have at the beginning of each chapter. I was very intentional, and seeing it all come together is just an amazing process. And it was one thing when it went live on my birthday, which was awesome. Thank you for planning that, Darrin.
Yeah, that was absolutely not planned. I was starting to freak out. It should have been live 2 days before that, but yeah.
Well, it was funny because as
we'll go with that as
planned. I started like going, I don't want it to go live today. I don't want it to go live today. And then when I woke up Thursday morning, I'm like, it has to go live. And, but once it went live, you know, that was one thing, but holding it in my hands yesterday was just like, and looking through it and letting my kids and my husband look through it was just a whole nother experience. And signing my first book, like, wow. Yeah. And you've been
That's
such
an interesting
awesome
experience
supporter.
in and of itself.
Have you seen Anne's Bunsty she made for me on my birthday? Anne made me a double birthday Bunsty. It was awesome.
That's awesome.
Thanks, Rob.
That is awesome. Yeah, you know, you talk a little bit about some of that journey and just that very last little bit of the journey. You know, when we left, so I guess I've talked about it a little bit. I was on vacation in Florida from Tuesday through yesterday, and when we loaded the book Monday and I really expected an email Tuesday morning when I got up, hey, your book is live, and it wasn't there. And then Wednesday morning, it wasn't there. I'm like, this is starting to bother me a little bit, you know? And, but yeah, you know, Tuesday or Wednesday, or I'm sorry, Thursday. It's your birthday. The book goes out live, midday, and the timing, it was meant to be. So
Yeah, really.
super excited to have that thing up and rolling for you. And already a number one new release in at least one category, and climbing up the charts in a couple others. So it's definitely off to a great start.
And I really appreciate, everybody who has purchased the book. Like I said, I want to hear from you. It's funny because before I became an author, it would be like, I want to read all these books, but once you've written a book and you're on the other side, it's totally different. I guess it's kind of like becoming a parent. You have a totally different view of what others before you have done. And so, I really do want people to take selfies with my book, share that they're reading it, share their thoughts and reflections, on Amazon. I want to know, this is not just about me putting something out and letting it sit there. Just like when I present or I put out a blog, I want it to be interactive. So I really hope others interact with it. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I'm pretty active on Twitter. If you're on here, you probably already know that. And all of you are part of my journey. So it's just been such an amazing journey so far. And I know that I'm just leveling up, right, Lindsay?
Sure are.
Lindsay and all of her leveling up as I write in her journal every morning, right?
And I got to say, Debbie, you called that it was going to be published on your birthday.
I don't know how I knew that.
You knew that a few months ago. You said, wouldn't it have been the coolest thing? And I said, put it out there, call it out there, and look what happened.
I still think it's amazing that it happened.
I was just glad you didn't ask for that from the beginning. You said that with about a week ago. You're like, hey, just by the way, my birthday's next week. If you can arrange that, I had some kind of stroke with Amazon, but it landed that way. So Lindsay's right. You put it out there and good things happen. So
one day I was on the phone with you or on Zoom with you. I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if it came out on my birthday? And you're like, I don't know.
You're putting pressure on me. Yeah, but no, it was all good. It was all good. It really was. So absolutely, so for those who are out there and haven't ordered their copy yet, you can get it right down here, right below Vernon and Jillian on the screen. Go to roadawesome.net and click on the shop button, and Debbie's book is right there. It'll take you right to the link. You can also order the autographed copies at Debbie's website, which you can see. I don't have her website on there, but that's how to connect with her.
TannenbaumTech.com.
TannenbaumTech.com. Yeah, we can change that real quick. Yeah, absolutely. So just some final thoughts. Let's just kind of just throw it around real quick. Some final thoughts about Transform and about the writing process and those things. And Vernon, I am going to go to you first.
Yeah, what an honor to be here with you all. And, I'm going to say this, success is a great thing, and for many different obvious reasons, but maybe for one of the reasons that's not so obvious. And that's that, success really shows you who shares with your joy and with your success, and all of us sharing your joy, Debbie and Darrin, and just everything that you all are doing with this that I know you will do in the future. And then Road to Awesome as well, Darrin, phenomenal job with what you're doing there, brother. Keep making an impact and keep inspiring. This really talks about transformation, this book does, and not only transformation through the lens of tech, but one of the things I want to go ahead and really just put out there as a rhetorical question is, will people go ahead and also look at this through the transformation of their lives? And so one book, one idea from one book can be the thing that changes everything that we do in our practices. And I just want to thank you, Debbie, for saying, you know what, I'm going to do this. Just like Lindsay said, I may not necessarily know every step from A to Z, but I'm going to do this. And for you, Darrin, to say, you know what, let's go with this. Right. And to have the faith and to make a mark, because I am confident that this book will be a game changer for many people.
Thank you, Vernon. Appreciate that.
Wow.
Yeah. Jillian, what do you got?
Yeah, well, I'm going to quote a High School Musical because we're all in this together, right? I won't do the dance because that would totally embarrass Darrin. So, but we're all in this together, and just the fact that we are all connected for purpose and with passion. And I think it was funny. Darrin and I actually met face to face last week, and I was a little bit nervous, and I was like, what if we really don't like each other? It's like, what if it's all been fake this whole time? Because it's that whole virtual thing. But God, honest, it is not. I cried, like legit cried when we got to hug each other, you guys. I mean, it's like it was like we had known each other forever, and we sat and talked for 3 hours with our families. And it's just these are real connections. So every time you talk to somebody on Twitter, every time you throw something out there, every time you retweet something, or you go to a chat, it's a connection, and it's impactful. And look at where it's gotten you, Debbie. I mean, it's all of your, resources and your research and your background and your stories and your anecdotes. I mean, it's all fit together so perfectly. So thank you for being on this journey and allowing us to be a part of it.
Thank you so much for being my accountability partner for the UUP and the RTA. Thank you for asking me to be your accountability partner.
All in this together.
Oh, there she goes.
Oh, you guys are bringing a lot of joy to a Sunday. Just gotta love that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Lindsay.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, I look at kind of every time something wraps up, right? You have this finished product. It is now time to expand, right? It is now the start of true greatness, right? And so I think never, and you've heard me say this many, many times, like, don't lose sight of all the steps you've taken to get to this moment, because they were purposeful. They are you, right? And they were not just because. They were purposeful and intentional. And now you have a brand new beginning upon you. Now you have this what wasn't an end, quote unquote, right? The end to writing this specific manuscript, the end to this publishing round, the end to this. It is now, holy moly, the expansion, it has started. And so I'm so honored to be a part of that expansion and to continue to see you grow and evolve. And so it's amazing from that perspective. And I'm so excited to see what truly comes of the transforming, because you've already started doing it. You have your book, but then you have your blog series where you come back to your transformations each month. And it is an amazing journey to be a part of and cheer you on. And I just can't wait to see the expansion that I know is going to continue from today moving forward.
Wow. Thank you. Darrin, are you speaking or am
I? What's that? Say that again.
Nothing. Go ahead, Darrin. I think he's going to have the last word. Debbie, I'll give you a chance for some final thoughts here, and then I'll wrap us up. But go ahead. See, I didn't think I'd get the last word. I just want to thank everyone who's on live today, or if you're watching it later, or if you're one of the amazing people who's on the screen. This book didn't just happen because I decided to. There are stories in this book that come from people. Right now, Jen Burden's on there. She's one of the people. Dawn Rees, who's also in the comments. She's another one of the people I work with at school. But even more than that, I mean, I've grown and learned so much from everybody who's been sharing. Sandra was one of my first people that I did a sample tech coaching session with and really tried to stretch my wings in new ways. And it's just been such an amazing process to grow and learn with all of you. Vernon, when I contacted you to read my book, I had no idea how the connection to you would change my world. Honestly, when I first met you, I was so fangirling. I was like, oh my God, it's Vernon writing. Because every time I had seen you on anything, like I'd be writing everything you said down because there was so much truth in it. And I'm really happy that you were able to be here and that all of you are not only people who are part of my PLN, but I feel like you're friends and, part of my network. And I just can't say enough how much I appreciate all of this. And it's been a journey, and I can't wait to see what comes next. But I want to make sure that everyone who was part of that journey, Eileen, you as well. When I met you on your podcast, it was like, wow. I just want to thank all of you for everything that you've done, because people don't reach those levels of transformation alone. People reach transformation because they find what they're good at, and then they find what they need help and assistance with, and they reach out for those things. And that's exactly what everyone on this screen has helped me do. It's just unbelievable. And even people who aren't on this screen, you know, I can't get over how many people have given me their time and their energy just from the goodness of their hearts to help me further everything that I've been doing, because it's really something that I believe in. And it's just one more example of how technology gives us opportunities that you could just never imagine, because this opportunity right now would have never happened if I hadn't embraced the technology. Hey, Bobby. So I just want to thank everyone again. And if you don't believe in the power of technology, this moment right now should really help you understand that it is so true. Okay, Darrin, you can take it home.
Last word.
It's fantastic. Well, I appreciate Debbie, you putting this together and asking me to help you host this. When pre-pandemic, a book launch, we would have people show up, and you'd have copies of the book sitting there, and some of those kinds of things. And now this is becoming a little bit more of a norm. And just like building the relationships and the connections that we are without necessarily meeting in person. I really do appreciate so very much the effort and the work that you put into the beginning of this journey and all the way up to where you are now. And I want to stress something that in their own way, Jillian, Vernon, and Lindsay all said this as well. This isn't the end of the journey. This is a jumping off point now. And interestingly, the day that your book went live on your birthday, that happened to be the 1-year anniversary of when I signed my book contract with Codebreaker. And,
Awesome day.
Brian and I texted a little bit that day. And one of the things Brian said was, Darrin, it's been 1 year. Imagine where you're going to be a year from now. Yeah. He and I both reflect on a year ago where Codebreaker was, where Road to Awesome was, and jump it forward a year and just think about a year from now where this is going to be. I was given some great advice when my book first launched by another author, Weston Kieschnick. If you guys know Wes, Wes just launched his own consulting firm. Wes is an amazing guy, but one of the things he said was, it's going to take a year. Don't worry about that initial step, or be excited about it, but don't expect to sell every copy of your book in the first 5 days. It takes a year for these things to grow and to develop. And so as we now share that anniversary with me getting my Road to Awesome book moving forward, I just want to encourage you and encourage everybody who's out there working on something. Just think about the amount of time. Just be patient in the process. And Debbie, for you, just think about where you're going to be in a year, because you are just getting started on your transformation. So congratulations on your book. Lindsay, thank you so much. Jillian, thank you so much. Vernon, thank you so much for being here. Thanks to everybody who joined in and were a part of this today. We got more and more people jumping in here. So super exciting. So with that, I will tell you, we're going to sign off. Everybody get out there and have a Road to Awesome week. And
transform learning.
That's right. Yeah. Everybody take care. Thanks
Bye.
so much.
Thanks, everyone.